Greetings, listener. Please enjoy the unintelligible ramblings of your favorite dynamic trio, Arva, Farah, and Westy, as they discuss seasonal opinions. Welcome to The Unintelligibles.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Unintelligibles. I am your host for once this week. It's been a little while. I keep losing. I need to be better. I know, I'm sorry. I just wasn't scared last episode. I need to be more scared, apparently.
Wait, last episode was food.
Oh wait.
Last episode.
Not scared. Yeah. Sorry, right.
Last. Yeah.
Shit.
Okay.
Also, I need to I get better taste in food. Or dislike more foods, but welcome in. I'm joined here by, as always, by my lovely co-host Westy and Farah.
Hello.
And today, well, actually before, let's not break the regular. How are you guys doing? Long time since we've seen each other. Very long time.
Oh my god. I lost all the money that I won in the lottery. My house got repossessed. I got a divorce.
Man.
Very
same
going through it.
here. It's been rough.
Man.
Well, my day hasn't been that exciting. I got a new tattoo, and then I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, so.
Understandable.
Did you post a tattoo?
It was the D20, but it's like finally fully healed.
Oh yeah.
So if you've seen the D20 tattoo, it's like
Right.
finally
Yeah.
free. And now
That's the best feeling.
I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, go back and get it colored in, because I like colored tattoos. Line art tattoos are cool, but I like the color. I know it fades, but it's one of those preference things.
It's worth it. I think it's worth it. And then if it does fade, you can always get it touched up.
Yeah, because I have others, and one is like super faded because I got it, I want to say 18
70
years ago. 18 years ago, and I was just like, I got it 18 years ago sitting in my living room, so I mean, because I just had a friend with a tattoo gun, and he was just sitting there tattooing me. I paid him with food. Don't be like me.
Alright. Pretty good.
And I know that
That's pretty
needs to be
good.
touched up, but I mean, again, I get 16, 17 years before it needs to happen, so I'm like, I can't complain.
No, that's really good, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Well, that doesn't segue at all into what we're going to talk about.
We are
but
bad at
that gives me a
segues.
topic. That gives me a topic that I want to talk about in the future, though, potentially. But
No,
today,
that's mine. I already have it written down. Don't you
Whoa,
fucking dare.
okay,
Don't you
never
dare. It's in my
mind.
list.
No, now it's just whoever gets to it first.
No.
not gonna be me.
I've had it written down for weeks.
we're going to do another discussion or talking podcast because I don't really have any ideas for a game yet, or like any sort of like creative spin. I need to like have more time to come up with something. But we're gonna talk about seasons. Woo! We're gonna talk about
Like-
favorite seasons, what we like about them, what we don't like about other seasons, like activities we like to do in certain seasons, like just everything about seasons. Nerd out about your favorite, shit all over your least favorite.
I got it.
I
prepared.
Are we
don't know,
talking
I'm a
like
big fan.
weather or like TV shows?
Oh, sorry, weather. Like autumn, spring,
I already knew
summer,
what he was
winter.
talking about. Oh, yeah.
No, every
you know.
season ever of every TV show, every single one. No, it's just like, yeah, favorite season, why not, things you like about them, things you like to do in them. Once again, shit on your least favorite season, why is it your least favorite? Stuff like that. It doesn't have to be that like clean cut, but I don't know. I like talking about seasons because I feel like there's very polarized opinions. Very, very polarized opinions because people either love the cold, so they always go winter and like autumn, or they love summer, which I hate summer. I hate summer. I'm sorry to say it. I don't
If
like
your favorite season is summer, you are a child still in school. There is nothing good about summer. It is hot. It is miserable. It's too damn bright. Everyone is just so fucking rude because they're hot.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, well, that's now your problem. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. God damn it.
summer. I agree. Yeah, because also you don't get like summertime off anymore. Like as a kid and like even in like college and stuff. Well, you have summer classes in college. So no, when you're a kid in school, elementary, high school, you get summers off. So you're like, "Ooh, summer's great. Yay, no school." But like you become an adult and it's just a hotter, shittier season.
Yeah, that's like an age test of like, what's your favorite season? I love summer. Ah, underage, get out.
Right. Oh yeah, why do you like summer? I don't have to go to school. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I still have to work in the summer, so.
I've only met one person who's like, I like summer. It's like, why? It's like, oh, my job basically just pays me to stay home for 2 months. And I'm like, ah, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, that's understandable.
If you're a teacher too,
You do get summers
kind of
off.
the same thing.
Yeah.
My
But-
mom works in the school system, not a teacher, but she gets summers off, which is like, that's nice. I still don't like summer. I don't know. It's just gross.
I see we
And
kicked
hot.
off early with the hate of summer here.
This is the
I had to.
hate summer gang.
Yeah, I don't like summer. I don't know. Spring is like the better summer, but then there's allergies, so I also don't like spring. Cause like, I'm
I have
sneezing every
allergies
fucking
year
day.
round, man.
I'll say
I
spring
usually do.
isn't as bad simply because you have those really, really nice days where it's like a good mid 60s, high 60s in Fahrenheit. And it's just like, I don't need a jacket, but it's like brisk. I love those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I can go out for a walk and it's like, yeah, it's sunny, but I'm not sweating. This is fine.
It's also super pretty. All the flowers blooming and everything.
Yeah.
And super green. What about your guys' least favorite? Summer? We're all summer
Summer.
haters? Yeah.
Yeah, probably summer.
Summer,
I think that's fair.
it's like right now, I am currently living where it is like record hottest in the US. We are at, hang on, I'll get the conversion for the Canadians here. Hang on. We are sitting at about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just over 46
Somewhere in the
Celsius.
40s. Yeah.
And I'm
Oof.
like,
No, like,
Oof.
this is fucking miserable. Why is this happening? Like, even back
Yeah.
in Texas where I came from, it's cooler there than it is where I am now. And we went outside to take the dog on a walk, and it was so hot, we basically just walked to the nearest patch of grass and stood there in the shade and just came back in, drenched in
all you can
sweat. Like,
do.
I need to get in the shower. Hang on.
Yeah. I bet
yeah,
the past few summers it was like 46 and or like 115, but with humidity too, and it's like, why? Why? And my mom was like, "Oh, I love this. It's great. I love the summer." And I was like, "You are Satan.
Ugh,
You are not real."
awful.
It's just. I'm so
Summer.
sorry I cut you
Yeah,
off, Farah.
it's just I don't like being. No, it's fine. I totally lost my train of thought, anyways, so it did not matter.
No.
I don't like being sweaty, and I sweat a lot. I hate having to put my AC in my window unit.
Yeah.
Unit.
Humid.
And it's also annoying when I'm streaming because I try to have my AC on before stream for a while so my room cools down. Because when I have it on, it like makes my audio quality tank.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets so hot, so inevitably, I mean, I'm streaming for like 5-6 hours, so I have to turn it on
Yeah.
eventually, and I'm like, ugh, I hate it. I also just
Yeah.
hating putting it in because it's annoying.
Right, because they're heavy.
Yeah.
They're heavy and they're awkward, and they also are sharp.
And I
Very.
can't
Oh my
use
god.
my weighted
Yeah.
blanket in the summertime either, which makes me sad.
I know I
love
have to
my
like sleep on
weighted
top of my
blanket.
bed like a psycho sometimes, and I feel crazy. Like there's
Dude.
nothing on top of me.
I fucking hate it because the way this house is designed, my PC is in the basement. And the basement is Arctic all year round. I love it down here. It
Mhm.
is so cold. I have a stack of blankets behind me. If I get chilly, I can grab it. But all the heat radiates to the top floor where the bedroom and the bathroom are. And so
yeah.
when I go upstairs from the basement, because it's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, it's just like so humid and hot up there. I'm like, this is miserable. I'm going to find a drain to piss down, I guess. Or I go and lay down in bed and it's just like, why am I sweating in bed? I'm not. I'm
It's
alone.
awful.
It's so fucking hot.
That's the worst. I hate
Ugh.
sweating in bed. It makes me feel so gross.
Especially
However,
when you wake up. Oh,
let me tell you both. If you haven't heard of them, they make cooling blankets, and we got one.
they do.
And I fucking love that thing. My only complaint with it, we actually lost the original on vacation because we left it in the hotel bedding. But anyway, new one. My only complaint is after you wash it, it always feels wet because it's so cold. It always feels wet.
Oh,
yeah.
But it's like when you're already like so hot, you're like, fuck it, wrap yourself up in it. It's just like 20 degrees cooler, and you're like, oh, hell yeah.
oh, I might have to get one of those.
They're not too expensive. They're like $40. And they're pretty big. It covers a queen size bed, no problem.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I might have to get one of those because I like the feeling of a blanket on me, but in the summer it's just too hot sometimes to have anything on
Yes.
you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
I hate
being
that.
wrapped up cozy in like big blankies.
Mhm.
So summer sucks because it makes it harder to do that. I got a window AC unit like 3 or 4 years ago, I think, but prior to that I just had like a oscillating fan in my room.
Yeah.
And my room is the hottest in the house because it gets the afternoon sun.
Oh,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just has like
Same.
shit insulation.
Yeah.
So it was just like I had to sleep on top of my blankets, and I would just be drenched in sweat. And many a times I ended up just sleeping on the couch in the basement because it was cooler. So my parents one year were just like, "Do you want an AC in your room?" And I was like, "Bro, are you paying for it?" And they were
Please.
You're like,
yeah. And I was
"Please,
like,
yes."
absolutely. And now I'm like, I can never live without this now. This is
Yeah.
a luxury I can never give up.
Right. Well, here on the West Coast, we used to not get like summers like this. We had very like lukewarm summers, maybe up to like 30 degrees Celsius every once in a while, like, which is pretty hot, but like it's livable. You know, you can live in that. So we never had any AC really because we just during the summer we just had fans on, big fans, and that was it. House was cool, nice. So we went through, and then that 1 year hit where we like had record breaking. We were like hotter than Florida. We were hotter than everywhere, like here on the West Coast. And we didn't have any AC, not a single unit of AC. It was awful. That was when I was streaming for like 6 to 8 hours also.
Oh my god.
So my SWAS was deadly. Like it was insane. I like had a hand fan. I would like fan myself on stream. I was like apologizing. I'm like, sorry if you hear any noises. But yeah, my mom was like, I think we need AC. I was like, please. We're all chipping to get the AC. And it's been life-changing. Holy, it still gets super hot with the AC sometimes too. So I'm like, I couldn't even imagine without the AC. Like I would just be done. And I also have a bedroom that faces like the afternoon sunset. And my bed is like right by the window. Like the window looks onto my bed. So the sun just like cooks my bed and my room.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
why
awful.
I got like 2 sets of curtains on. Like,
Yeah,
no!
I have
No
big
light
old
in
like
here.
blockers. Like no fucking sunlight for me, thank you.
Yeah, you get the blackout curtains. Makes
Yeah.
such a difference.
It's so better, so much better. Holy.
But yeah, cooling
Still gets hot,
blankets.
though.
If you haven't seen
I
one,
also
they're great.
oh yeah. I don't know if I would like it. I like to be cozy.
Well, that's the
I like
thing.
the
You
way
can be
cozy.
cozy because what Adrian does is she'll wrap up in the cooling blanket and then wrap a blanket around that. And so it just traps the right amount of heat. So it's not like
Oh yeah, that's fair.
too cold, but it's also not too warm. So I'll just see her wrapped up like ET waddling around. It's like, yep,
All right, she's living.
yep. There she goes.
There she goes. Honestly, that sounds nice. I'll have to look into that because we had weighted and heated blankets, which are also great. So it'd be good to get the
Yes, yeah,
trifecta:
those.
heated, weighted, and then cooled.
I can tell you after sleeping with it we've actually used it for about 6 months now. It is such a lifesaver in the summer because I wake up after it's the hottest fucking day of the summer in US and I'm like, cool. I'm just like, ooh, it's a little chilly in here. And then I
that'd be
step
so
outside and
nice.
I'm like, never mind, going back.
It's hell. Help.
What we'll do on really, really hot days is we have 2 AC units in our house, one in my bedroom and one in my parents' bedrooms. And both of our bedrooms are upstairs. And the way that our upstairs work is like it's basically a hallway with like 4 bedrooms and a bathroom. And then there's a railing with the stairs, so it's sort of like a loft,
Oh,
but it has rooms in it. So it when the doors are open and we put both ACs on at the same time, because cool air travels downwards, it does a really, really good job of cooling our main level as well. So on days
right.
that are really hot, we'll close all of the windows and blinds and we'll put both ACs on and open the doors.
Smart. Smart. Same here. We have we bought a lot of ACs. Each of us have an AC. Mine, my brother, and my mom, all upstairs. Also upstairs. And then we have one downstairs. One big one. But then we really only need one downstairs because the rest, like you said, if we just turn ours on and keep our doors open, it really does the job.
Yeah.
That segues doesn't segue at all, but it kind of segues because I hate the fucking heat to my favorite season, autumn. Ooh.
Yes.
I love autumn because of Halloween. The colors are so pretty. The like red, yellow, orange, like crunchy leaves. Oh, the leaves are crunchy too, which is a bitch because you have to rake them, but they sound nice. And then there's Halloween, of course. There's Halloween, the best holiday. I love Halloween so much. It doesn't do much anymore because I'm an adult, but you know, I can still love it. I dress up in my head. I'll dress up this year, I think. I won't do anything, but I'll dress up.
I think
Halloween's my
fun.
favorite. I wish it was an actual holiday.
I
Yeah.
know.
Halloween is one of
Mhm.
those holidays. Like when you're a kid, it's the fucking best. You're going to hang out with like other kids, your friends, you're getting candy. It's like every kid likes spooky stuff, more or less. To a degree, every kid likes spooky stuff, I feel like. Because you
Mhm.
don't have that fear yet. You know, you haven't like been traumatized by anything. So you're not gonna be like, oh my god, that's terrifying. You're like, oh my god, that's cool. Halloween.
Yeah.
And then you hit adulthood and it's just like, well, it's Halloween. Guess I better clock into work. There you go.
Yeah.
But then
But then you
there's
can go to Halloween parties and get drunk.
yeah, I was gonna say, and then after well, because everyone goes through that I'm too cool for Halloween, like teenage phase, I feel like.
I do not. I
Mm.
never did.
Oh,
That was not me.
Okay, you either go through that or you go like spooky goth, Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton is my aesthetic.
Right.
It's one or the two. But then it kind of hits a point again where Halloween is super fun again because just the time of year is nice. It's very pretty. You have all the different colors.
Mhm.
And then you have like all the fun shit to watch because all the horror movies coming out. And
Yeah.
even if they're like bad horror movies, it's like a fun experience to go see a bad horror movie.
Yeah.
I do enjoy horror movies and also bad horror movies.
Can I say?
Go
I was-
ahead.
I was just gonna say, last night, Adrian and I got real high on edibles, and we just ended up watching Goosebumps for like 4 hours straight. And that
Was
really,
it good?
I love Goosebumps.
I will say, like the actual Goosebumps TV show, it's a lot better than I remember it for certain. Like some episodes, the acting is very. What do you mean there's a monster in the basement?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Am I high or are they actually talking like that? But there's a few other episodes I was watching. I was like, wow, these kids are actually like decent actors. And then I looked, I was like, that's fucking Hayden Christensen. Goddamn
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker in here.
That's probably why.
Yeah, I know. And I was just like, well, shit, hold up. This one's not bad.
Where did you get here? When did you get here? Where did you come from?
It's crazy when you look at him as a kid because his face looks exactly the same, and it's weird because he looks like somebody just shrank him down and put him in a child's body. His face is identical. It's fucking trippy, especially when you're high.
I
Ah,
trick or treated until I was 16. I really was like milking it because it's my favorite thing ever to dress up. Candy is like great. I do enjoy that part as well, but for me it was dressing up. That was like the main draw for me.
Yeah.
And then I hit 16 and my parents were like, "Okay, you're too old to trick or treat now." And I was like,
No.
don't do this to me. And I I was like, no, I'm not. And then I asked all my friends, and they were all like, we're too old to trick or treat. I was like, no.
No, really? Mine was
Yeah.
the
That's sad.
opposite. We
I
all wanted to keep
went-
going.
So I think after I turned 16, I haven't gone trick or treating. I think I've gone to maybe 2 Halloween parties. I'm not a party person, and I don't have a lot of friends, so I wasn't really a party attender.
Fair.
But I met Frisia last summer, I think, is when we met. And she has a younger brother that is trick-or-treating age. And she was like, do you want to come trick-or-treating with us? And I was like, oh,
Yes.
yes! So we got dressed up, and I got my pillow sack. And if you know me, you know I look 12 years old already. So I got so much candy, and it was the best night ever. And I'm going again this year, and I'm like, please, this child is 13, I think. And I'm like, please never stop wanting to go trick-or-treating.
Please.
You're my last hope. I need you.
Just encouraging more and more. Hey, bud, you want to go trick or treating?
Because
Right.
no one else I know has any like really younger siblings.
That's good. That's the only way I could go trick or treating now. Cause I went up until I think I was like 17 or 18. I stuck it out for a while because my friends were wanting to still go trick or treating. They were like, "Do you guys want to go again this year?" We're like, "Yeah,
Dude,
you get candy."
I would go well into my 30s. and
Right.
beyond.
It's just
so
fun.
much fun. It is.
We got so many comments though. They were like, "Aren't you too old for this?" And we would literally respond with like, "We could be doing hardcore drugs right now." And they're
Dude,
like,
see, I
okay.
didn't get those comments because I look like a child.
To be fair, a lot of my friend group was like over 6 feet tall, so
That's fair. That's fair,
we just
yeah.
probably looked also like extra old. But we were like, "Come on, man, we're just teenagers. We could be literally doing like vandalism,
Yeah, I was gonna
crimes,
say,
drugs."
Of
and
all the
we're
shit you could
trick-or-treating.
be doing, trick or treating that's like the best
I
case
feel
scenario.
like you're never too
Right.
old to trick or treat. Like if
No,
an old
it's
woman
fun.
rang my doorbell on Halloween and said trick or treat, you bet your ass I'm giving her candy.
I'm giving
Hell
extra.
yeah.
Good on you for going out there when, just having a good time. I don't know. I agree. I know it's a much more magical experience for kids because, ooh, candy. Ooh, I get to dress up in this candy, but like, who says that isn't something I want? I want the
Dude,
magical experience
yeah.
of getting candy for
I
dressing
used
up.
to want candy.
Yeah.
What? I love candy and I love dressing up. Why would I not want to go
And-
trick or treating?
One of my favorite parts about Halloween too is just to go to Spirits.
Oh, God,
yes, when the
yes.
spirits open. Oh, it's like going to the toy store.
It is. It's so much fun. Even if you're like, wow, all of these are so incredibly overpriced.
Yes.
I'm like, it's just so fun to look at all the costumes and then look at all the props. And I
Because
usually
you can see what's
go-
trending every year
Yeah.
too.
It's
Like
gonna
Barbie
be
this year.
for
Oh,
sure,
God,
Barbie
yeah.
and Ken are gonna
Mhm.
be a huge this year.
Yeah.
I usually it opens in September. Last year it actually opened end of August. So I'm
I
already
feel like that's
ready.
gonna happen again.
We are
I'm already
actually
ready. They already have the Halloween stuff out at the dollar store.
Yeah.
let me ask. Spirit Halloween or Spirit World?
Spirit Halloween.
That's the
I've never
superior
heard of
one.
Spirit World.
Yeah, I've never heard of Spirit World.
So Spirit World is like kind of like a Spirit Halloween knockoff, I would say, but they've been opening earlier than Spirit Halloween because
Oh.
they do the same thing. If like business goes out and then suddenly it's a Spirit World, and they have like similar stuff, but like brands you've never heard of, and it's not like super cheap knockoff of it's 20 cents plastic. It's like, no, this is actual glass because we found a pretty cool bat bottle.
Oh.
And it's like,
oh, interesting.
yeah, I know. It's like, well, what are you going to put in it? She's like, well, I'm going to fill it up with rocks. I'm like, that sounds dangerous. Do it.
See, I
Huh.
went on Google to see when the one near me is gonna open. It just says opens August, so it is gonna be opening in
So it's gonna be opening
August.
August.
Probably end of August.
I have a feeling that's the new thing.
It
It's gonna open
last
earlier.
year was the earliest I had seen it open, and I think they're gonna continue to open that early because it used to always be mid-September. And then I
Yeah.
saw it, and it was like August 24th or something. And I was like, what the hell?
Oh, so
And
soon.
the funny thing, too, is that it's never in the same spot. Literally every single year, it's in a different location.
Yeah, it's always like find the spirit.
It
There's
moves
one
to
that stays
avoid its
consistent.
predators.
Yeah, right. They're like they'll never catch
It's in
me.
it's in a different location again this year. Even
Mm.
though the building they were in last year is still vacant, they still moved.
They're just feeling silly.
Probably
There's
just found
one
the
that stays
cheapest rent.
consistent near me. It's always in the mall and it's always in the same spot in the mall. I don't know how
It
they do
used
that.
to be in the mall always for me, and
And they start being silly.
then they moved it, and that became a gym.
Oh,
I think that's why they had to move it, is because it was a gym.
it probably got actually like bought out.
Yeah, bought out like for a long-term lease.
Yeah, I remember it used to like open in September, and you knew that's like when it was fall. You would see Spirit Halloweens pop up, and you're like, oh yeah, it's fall. Halloween's coming. But now you see it in August, and you're like, oh my god, what? I mean, I'm glad to see you, but also like summer's still kicking. I'm confused now.
I have always had a disdain for like those back to school commercials. Like the moment it hits August, even sometimes late July, and the back to school commercials are on, because I've been in school since kindergarten. I haven't finished, like I was in college immediately after. This is the first year that I'm not going back to school in the fall. And I every time one of those commercials comes on, I just get a wicked grin on my face. Because I know that all these kids are watching these commercials and crying because their summer's over, or these college students. And I'm not one of them. I'm not going back.
Always, that's a good feeling. I'm like, this doesn't apply to me. Hee hee. I get to watch this and not feel sad. Yeah, that's also why I dodge like Walmart and stuff. Because you'll see that come on, and you know if you go into a Walmart, the front section is just going to be a fucking war zone of like duotangs and shit.
Yeah.
And once you hit like end of August, dude, it's packed with like moms and
Yeah.
their kids trying to get all their school supplies. Because I don't know about you guys, but every year in like at least in elementary school, I don't know if they did it in middle school, but they would give us a list of materials that we would need for the year.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
every year we would go to Walmart and get things, and it's like things that we probably already had, but they're tucked away in some deep dark corner of the basement, so we'll
Yeah.
re-buy them.
We'll find it when we move and be like, oh, well, we could have used that a few years ago.
I loved back to school shopping because it was like the one time of year that I was allowed to buy new clothes.
Yes.
So I was like, epic. I'm gonna buy
was
some
gonna
shirts
say,
from Walmart.
Okay, Walmart's got really good clothes sometimes. I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
true.
They
They
got
really
some good
do.
shit. I have a love-hate relationship with back to school shopping back when I used to do it, because it was really fun because you got to, buy things, especially school supplies. I hate school supplies, but buying my own and like getting nice ones, I was like, I'm gonna treat myself. I'll get some nice stationery, or I'll get a nice binder or duotang or like nice paper. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm buying this for school. This fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm splurging. Oh, these are so nice. And oh, I'm getting new clothes. And then I'm like, oh, I'm getting all
Back
this
to
because I have to go back to
school
school.
shopping was epic when you weren't paying for yourself. And then you get to college,
Uh-huh.
and then you have to buy textbooks, and it's not fun anymore.
No, it was awful. I still have like all my textbooks because they're so expensive, and I don't need them anymore, but I don't want to get rid of them because they were so expensive. So I just hold on to them. I should resell some of them, but I don't even know where to start with that. So I just keep them.
Honestly, when were you in university? Like, how many years has it been?
Oh God, 2 years now. Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
probably outdated.
They're
too,
probably
yeah.
outdated,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I hate to tell you, but it's been 2 years. This is
I
a
should
new
have resold
version.
them when I got out, but also I was like, well, what if I had the plan of going back, but then I started streaming.
Some of them
And
might
also
not
I hate
be.
school.
I
Some of them stay
had-
consistent.
Yeah, I had a textbook that I got online, and it was my second semester of my first year. And in my, I think it's 5 years later, Frisia was taking a class, and she was like, "Oh, I need this textbook," and I was like, "Hey, I use that textbook." you can just have my account information and you can just use the one that I already have. And I was really surprised because normally 5 years it's been
It's a long time academically.
edited already and added in.
Yeah.
I've literally had textbooks and I go to resell them immediately after the semester ends and the bookstore is like, "Oh yeah, sorry, like next year after the summer we're using a new version, so we won't buy it back."
So
Oh,
annoying. I
are
swear
you
they also do
fucking
that
kidding
on
me?
purpose just to fuck you over.
Well, of
They
course.
do.
100%.
I don't ever. This is for all the university students out there. Look and see, because my universities that I went to had Facebook groups for textbook buy and selling. Try looking there first, or like Kijiji if you're in Canada, Craigslist if you're in America, because they really rip you off at bookstores. Even for used books, you're paying way too much for them. And oh, I shit you not, I had a friend that went and sold back her textbooks to the bookstore. She sold back 4 textbooks. She probably paid close to $200 for all of them combined, which is pretty decent.
That's
for
cheap.
4 textbooks.
Yeah.
It was just the type of textbooks that we were using. Some of them were really small.
Right.
I want you to guess how much she got for them.
Probably
at the
$40
bookstore.
for all 4.
I was gonna say 40 or 60 around that.
14.
Oh
dollars.
my god.
14.
Yes.
That I would have like spat in their faces.
Yeah.
I
That's insane.
can't believe she like accepted that. I would be like,
I would have
no.
laughed. Yeah, I would have been like, that's a joke.
No, hell no.
That's a joke. That's crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, no, I fully agree with doing that. We had an app actually for our college that had a section where you could like, it was like a communal, it was like a Kijiji, but like for the college. So we could like
Oh,
talk to
yeah,
other
yeah,
students. And I got a lot of my textbooks that way. And I sold a lot of my textbooks that way for a decent price. Decent price for the person buying it and a decent price for me selling it. And not $14 for 4. That's insane. Holy shit. Oh,
Dude, it's worse than like GameStop buyback prices.
it is. Oh my god. Okay, this is derailing so much. We'll get back, I promise. But like, I once sold like a collection of games because I was selling an old Xbox and all the games we had with it, which was like a lot of games. I don't know how many. It was a lot. It was a lot, and they should be a lot. I think it was a similar scenario where it was like $20. Maybe that's generous actually, but it was like at least 20 games and an original Xbox, all in decent condition. The Xbox worked. It was like original controller come with it too. Like it was great. I wish we never fucking sold that console, man. Especially not for like under $20.
Yeah.
But it was so laughable, man. This is a nice collection of good games. Like there were good games too. A good condition Xbox. There was like under $20. Fuck
Oh my
you, scam
God.
Oh
artist.
I did that too. Like literally OG Xbox. I think I had the original Forza and then like all the Halos that were on the Xbox and like a bunch of other games. And I actually had 3 controllers with it, 3 OG Xbox controllers. And I didn't go to GameStop, but I went to a movie trading company and I think they quoted me like under 20. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that sounds about right.
and I just like when he was like, oh, we can do that. And I was like, okay.
No.
And I scooped it all off the counter and just went back out to the car. And I think I found a friend
Yeah.
who was like, I'll give you $60 for all that. And was like, hell yeah.
Deal.
It's
I'll
so
take
funny
it.
too, because like now if you try to buy any of those older consoles, it's ridiculous.
It's super fucking expensive.
Right. Fucking assholes. That's why I'm so mad we sold that
Honestly-
one. Ugh.
This is totally not on topic. I found that like collector stores are better than like individual resellers. Like it depends on the store because some of them will really rip you off, but like there's a good store in Calgary that sells used consoles and games, and they have like old ass consoles and games. They have like fucking Atari typing console, like the like you learned how to type.
I
on-
probably did.
Oh, right.
and like not bad prices, really actually like pretty reasonable. And then you look at shit on like eBay and it's fucking people are delusional.
$12,000.
They're so they
Yeah.
think their shit is worth so much more than they actually are. It's ridiculous.
My favorite
It's
is the post
true.
like, I know what I have.
Yeah, I know what it's
Oh.
worth. No, don't
I
haggle with
hate
me.
that. Oh my god. I see that a lot with cars too. Like anything that's like you can just see it's not worth it. They're like, I know what I have. And I'm like, do you?
Yeah, a piece of fucking
Do you?
garbage.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth anything like you think. I think you're pretty delusional. Because like what the fuck? The one console that hasn't gone up in price at all, and I think it's continuously dropping. Unless it has, and I've been unaware, but the Wii. The poor Wii, man. It's so cheap. I think you can get one for like $60 to $90.
I still have my Wii, and it works.
I got rid of mine too because we had so many consoles when we moved. We just got rid of a lot of them because we had like the original Xbox, we had a 360, we had 2 Xbox Ones, we had a Wii, and a few other things. I think we had a GameCube. And we had to get rid of a lot of them because we downsized houses, and I miss them all. Oh, I wish we just
Yeah,
kept them.
I miss
oh
my
god.
GameCube big time, but I do have a Wii, so I can technically play GameCube
Right.
games. But it was the experience of having a cube. I just love
Mhm.
cube-shaped things.
The cube.
I
The
want a
Cube.
Nissan Cube car, so it's like I want my GameCube back, you know?
Yeah, I like the tiny little discs they had too. They were so
They're
like
so
silly.
cute. Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, look it. I'm so different from all the other game consoles. I have a little disc.
Yeah.
I
It's
have
so
a tiny little
funny.
disc.
The first time when I got my Switch, and the first game I got, it like regular sized packaging for the game. And then you open it up and it's the tiniest fucking little cartridge on the planet, and I laughed. I was like, what is this?
I'm like, why did you do all
Why
this?
isn't it packaged like a DS game?
I was
It
gonna
doesn't
say
make any sense.
that saves space, saves plastic, looks better,
Actually,
and
the
it's obviously
reason
been done before.
the reason they did it that way, I know the answer, is because
Oh.
of marketing. Because it was going to be on shelves with PlayStation and Xbox
Oh.
games.
Yeah, I
and
can
they
I can see
had to
why.
make it as eye-catching as possible because that's how
Right.
kids shop. Kids shop with their eyes. They don't like, well, I heard this game was good based on the reviews. No, they look at it and be like, holy shit, there's a Pikmin on the cover. Give me it.
That makes sense. And the bigger the cover, the more art they could put on it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it made,
Yeah.
and the
Mhm.
GameCube ones were very specifically more colorful because of that. So you have more of the
Right.
color wheel on there because it catches little kids' attention, whereas
Mhm.
Xbox and PlayStation didn't use as much color because it was targeted to teens and adults.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So yeah,
Same with like, even with DS and things like that. They're smaller, but like they're usually pretty bright.
yeah,
Usually
those
pretty
packages
bright
are
and-
pretty
Yeah.
fucking colored
Well,
in.
they're I'm pretty sure the default plastic for PlayStation and Xbox is black, but for pretty Nintendo games, I think have always been white.
Yeah.
No, GameCube
Switch is
had
now
a lot
clear.
of black ones. 'Cause I
Oh
had
yeah,
one.
Okay.
GameCube had black because it was like kind of that
DS
era.
and Wii are for sure white.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I remember.
And
those.
then
Switch is
now
now red
Switch
and
is
clear.
red.
Yeah.
But that's why they color code it, because the bright colors grab kids' attention more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's, let's
Xbox
be honest,
was green for a while.
It was, yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember Xbox 360 games were
Yeah,
always
they were
green.
like atomic green.
weren't they white? Am I misremembering that?
I don't know.
Some of them probably were. I know their
Let's
special
see.
editions were silver.
Oh yeah, the platinum.
Original Xbox was green, and then some Xbox 360 games were also green, but a lighter one.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay,
platinum
I
ones.
see.
The platinum.
So the plastic is green, but then like they have like the Xbox 360 and that's white.
Okay, that's
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
top.
That makes sense. And then PlayStation. Oh, PS4 switched it up. They had blue. That was cool.
Yeah, that's when they started swapping over to blue.
Mhm,
And
which I
again, it's
liked.
to differentiate at this point.
Because it's a brand now. You see blue, you're like PlayStation. You see green, it's Xbox. You see white or red, and it's Nintendo.
I will say that the Xbox 360 logo will always be my favorite gaming console logo. I don't know why, but it's my favorite.
Mine will always be the OG PlayStation logo. There's just something
It's really
about
tough between the two of them.
it's just the sound that was so
Mhm.
iconic. And then all the games that would fucking freeze, so I'd be sitting there staring at that logo like, is it frozen or do I leave it alone?
Right. I never had my own PlayStation until now, but I had friends always with one in family. So I grew up a lot with a PS2, and my friend never had a memory card. So if we played a game on his PS2, we had to play it in like one sitting because
Oh,
it wouldn't
yeah.
save. Or we'd turn it on and hope the console didn't crash or anything throughout the night. And we wake up and we're like, okay, is the game saved? Did we lose it? And usually we did. It like crashed throughout the
That's
night.
the
It like
first
froze.
thing I bought with when I got my Switch was a memory card.
I bought him a memory card for his console because I was sick of this shit not having a memory card.
This gift is actually for me because I don't.
Because
wanna
I
lose
play
my
so much.
progress.
Right. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of entering these cheat codes into GTA San Andreas over and over again.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think my favorite logos is between the GameCube, because the GameCube intro is like one of my favorites
iconic.
ever.
That's
Okay,
my
yeah.
favorite for sure.
The PlayStation's 1, 2.
And you could change the
Also maybe
sounds
3.
based on what button you were pushing.
Yeah. Oh, I miss it. I miss when like startups for consoles were like silly and fun or dramatic. Like PlayStation was like doo-doo, super dramatic, like you're watching some
yeah.
movie or something. GameCube was silly because it was the logo like bouncing around. Xbox was like creepy and alien like with its like
Yeah, it's like zoom.
green sludge.
You know what I really
But
miss?
mm,
Look, it's the same topic. Is you remember like the loading screen games?
yes, yes.
I didn't know that apparently Capcom copyrighted those, so no one else can use them.
What?
Oh,
You can't copyright a whole type of game.
Actually,
can
you can, yes.
Oh
So
man.
they like came in with that, and so now no one but Capcom games can have loading screen games.
Editor here. Minor correction, it was actually Bandai Namco that held the patent for this. It expired in 2015.
That's stupid.
It's the same.
Losers.
It's the same shit that fucking Shadow of War and like Middle Earth, the Middle Earth games with the orcs. Their system is also copyrighted, so no one can use it. You can't use
Right.
anything similar to it.
That's wild.
And I really, because I remember that was always the fun where it's like loading and like, oh, you know, you twirl the stick and it makes like the character in the corner go fly around. You got to try and like
Yeah.
go hit the other side of the screen before it finishes loading.
Man.
And then they stopped doing
sucks.
it, and I'm like, cool, I guess I'll just sit here.
Because I'll just fuck myself. Okay, we lost topic now, but I'm fine with what we're talking about. That reminds me of kind of similar, but like Need for Speed copyrighted or got the trademark for Porsche. Like they just bought Porsche in general. So like for most of the main racing game era, Porsche was not allowed in any game but Need for Speed. So
Okay,
everyone's like,
that was
where's
a
Porsche?
weird
And Need for
decision.
Speed just hoarded that. And they
Damn.
just kept it. And so other games had to like get alternatives and like different quote unquote Porsches that were like different brands technically in their games.
Rorschach.
Yeah, there was like Rough,
Rise of the Bugatti.
Gambella, and then they lost their trademark, I think, or their deal with Porsche a few years ago. So now the balance has been restored and all the games get it again. But I hate when that happens. I get why they do it because then they get a monopoly on it and they get to make money off of it. But I'm like, you're an asshole. You're a greedy pig asshole.
Yeah.
I hate that. I miss loading screen games now. I wondered why they like just kind of fell off the face of the earth. I was like, okay, maybe
That's
it's because loading
Capcom.
times have been reduced, but no.
Well, that too, because yeah, if you're on like SSDs and your loading screen is like 5 seconds, there's not a whole lot of point to spend the energy making a loading screen game.
Yeah.
However, I do like the option of like it has the tips on the bottom and it has a loading screen. It's like push X to continue, but you can like play the game while you're reading some tips.
Right.
I appreciated that.
I'm glad tips on loading screens didn't get copyrighted.
Imagine that. Yeah,
That
you
would've
just
been
lose tips.
awful.
Oh, that would have been bad.
It's
There's so many
bad.
times I've been stuck and be like, wait, that's a thing? Hold up.
Yeah, right. Especially in a game like a Souls-like or something really hard. And it's like the tip that I needed for that fight. Like I'll die and be like, oh, I'm pissed. And then I load in and it's like, oh, tip, use this and this and this. And I'm like, oh.
Tip, you
Yeah,
can
don't
actually
die.
use your action while doing this. Like, wait, what?
I'm like, what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thanks, game.
I think
But
it was.
sometimes the tips are fucking stupid and they're like, don't die.
I think it was actually Dark
thanks.
Souls 2 that like really cemented. It's like I both need this and hate this because it was like adaptability affects how fast you drink your flask, and I was like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Right. Like there's the condescending ones where I'm like, you're just being a bitch. And there's the tips where I'm like, oh, you actually taught me something. That doesn't happen a lot. Usually the game's pretty good at explaining mechanics to me, but sometimes they miss a few, or I miss a few because I'm just slow. And so a tip will come up and I'm like, oh.
Well, sometimes it's one of those you register that it was there, but you didn't process it. And so when someone
Yeah.
says, you're like, I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's also not used often. It's like a mechanic or something that's like very minuscule in the
Use
grand
it
scheme
one
of things.
boss fight.
Yeah, and then you never use it again, and then another boss fight later uses it, and you're like, what the fuck? What was that again? What did I do last time?
My favorite season is also autumn.
Right, yeah, we were talking about seasons.
Holy shit, that's beautiful.
A good segue. What's the tip at the bottom of the game says, what's your favorite season?
I was like waiting for a moment where you guys could stop talking so I could like hard derail.
Shift.
I was
back
actually
into
gonna
Thank
be
you.
like, and do you know when most games are released? Q4.
I was going
winter.
to segue back. Yeah. I don't know. I was just getting into. I just love talking about video games.
I know,
Ugh.
man.
But
We are
seasons,
gamers.
autumn.
Autumn is.
I think winter was my favorite for a long time, and now it's like a close second, I think.
Winter's also good.
Winter was my favorite as a kid. Like even as a kid, I never liked summer. Summer,
Mm-hmm.
it was all. I lived in the South, so 100-degree weather, Fahrenheit. Hang on, let me get the conversion.
It's like mid-30s.
38-degree weather
Yeah.
Yeah.
was always like
No thanks.
that's standard. I grew up with that, but like winter was the best as a kid because we never got a lot of snow. We'd get snow once every like 5 years or so, and so it was always kind of like special. But I also really like winter because even in the cold weather, when I was in school, we get snow days, but since we didn't ever have snow, they'd be like, all right, you get like 2 weeks off because we got to use these. And we'd just be like, oh, fuck yeah.
That's so
What the fuck?
nice.
I feel it's the opposite here. I mean, obviously it might be different for like BC, especially when you're like Vancouver does not get snow ever.
Yeah, we've been
I
getting more
was-
recently, but
Yeah,
we don't
I
usually.
was there a couple years ago, and they had like the tiniest little bit of snow in February, and we went out
Yeah.
and fucking nobody was out because
Yeah.
everything was shut down. Here in Berta, we get a lot of snow all the time.
Whoa.
And so there's no snow days. There's no such thing as a snow day. The only time school will ever be canceled is if it is a cold day, which means that the weather is below negative 40 degrees, which is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit. And that cannot include wind chill. It has to be negative 40 without wind chill.
Yeah.
And the reason why they cancel school when it's negative 40, not because it's dangerous, and to be outside, because you're not really supposed to be outside for extended periods of time when it's that cold.
Yeah.
It's because the buses won't start. So
Yeah.
they won't they won't have school because if the buses don't start, then a bunch of kids can't come to school, so it's not fair.
Right. I heard about that because Saskatchewan's similar from what I've heard from my
Yes.
family there.
Yeah.
And you can tell the kind of province you're in too by the fact that like if you go to those provinces, you will see the like auxiliary plugs out the front of cars so they can like jump or start their cars during the winter or
Oh yes.
anything.
So
They'll always
all
have it
winter,
hanging out the front.
We're plugged in. We
Mhm.
have this was a conversation I had on stream where I was talking about plugging in my car, and such a novel concept to all of the Americans and Australians in my chat that had no idea what the fuck I was talking about and didn't understand how to plug a car in. And I had no idea that cars that are not manufactured for like northern climates don't have box heaters in them.
No.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but I didn't even think about that. And I was like, yeah, man, you plug in a box heater to keep your engine warm and your battery so your battery doesn't die because it's so cold that your car just won't start.
Yeah.
if it hasn't been plugged in. And even at most jobs, or like schools, they have places to plug in your car. Like where I work, they have plugins for the car because you're working for 8 hours a day, and that's enough time. It only takes a few hours in extreme cold for your car to just not turn on.
hmm
Yeah, because it'll seize up real quick.
Yeah. That's a big stark difference I notice whenever I go to good old Alberta or Saskatchewan is here in BC. I think some of the cars that are in BC have that, but most of them don't because we really do not get that cold. Recently, we've been getting colder, which is like, oh, we're not ready for this. But you
Yeah.
see, out of town cars because you'll just see a plug dangling out of the front.
Yeah, it's always because you're not gonna fiddle with like opening your
Yeah, you just
the front
pull
of
it out
you
and
just
leave it out.
You
Yeah.
leave it out always, and you always leave it out only a little bit, so it's not like getting in the way of anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was funny because that was not something I didn't even realize that wasn't something that existed in warmer climates, but it makes sense.
Right. It does. It makes 100% sense, but like even I wasn't super familiar with them at first, and then I ventured out of my province and I noticed them and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That
Like,
adds
why
up,
the fuck all these cars got plugins
I
hanging
was
out
like,
of them?
I was like, what are these like generators? I was like, are these bitches using their cars as generators? I was like, this is interesting. And then I like literally a few seconds later figured it out and I was like, oh, I see. That makes sense. But yeah, you'll notice it whenever you go to those provinces, you'll just see cars with their little pluggies hanging out.
Yeah, my pluggy always be out in the winter time. And
Which is always crazy.
one thing that also is the struggle of Canadian life and probably northern US as well. Having to swap out your tires for winter tires.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz
That is also a novel
you have to
concept to
have
others.
2 sets of tires. All seasons are not all season. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Winter tires are good for, I think once it drops below 10 degrees is when they get grippier.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I don't think, I can't remember, in some provinces you can be fined if you don't have winter tires on in the winter.
Yes, yeah.
don't
It's
think-
required.
In Alberta it is. I know in BC it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely don't have that. What? I was gonna say, it depends on the kind of car you drive here, actually, because Adrian drives like an old Jeep, like probably before either of you two were born. Jeep. And it still runs like
Right.
perfectly fine, and they're so easy to work on. So it's like, yeah, this is great. But she
Mhm.
has very specialty tires that are all season, and she'll drive in like ice and snow. And there's just a separate lever that she has to pull, and now it's like 4-wheel drive on these like fucking mega
Yeah.
tires.
A lot
Mm.
of vehicles out here do have like you can switch between like summer and winter, like ice driving and stuff like that. I think that's not even just like a Canada thing. I think a lot of newer vehicles just have that, or like you can switch to rugged terrain.
Yeah.
My vehicle is all-wheel drive. On like that's it. I don't have two-wheel drive. And oh my god, two-wheel drive sucks so bad. I don't know why two-wheel drive exists. If you live, especially anywhere that has snow and ice, it's the most useless thing on the planet, and you won't go anywhere. And also, you will crash immediately anytime you try to stop. All-wheel
Yeah.
drive is a lifesaver if you live anywhere that has snow and ice.
So I'm glad I had an SUV last time it snowed.
We're actually considering getting my tires studded this year, which is another thing that a lot of people probably won't know if they don't live somewhere that has snow.
Because that's really intense too, getting studded.
Yeah, just because I drive on a major highway to get to work, and I work like 50 minutes away, and then I have to drive on, which because it's a major highway, it's usually pretty good, like they clear it very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So unless it's like actively snowing at that moment, it's usually pretty good. There is black ice a lot.
Uh-huh.
But to get to my place of work, I have to go off of the highway and take some like gravel roads. And those in the wintertime are the worst. There is zero traction on those motherfuckers.
That sounds like a nightmare. Holy shit. I could never.
They don't get cleared nearly as often because they're not a main driving route. So they have lower
Right.
priority. the real like even above studded tires would be chains on your tires. That's like the
Mm-hmm.
you
Oh
are
god, not the tire
prepared
chains.
for anything. I've
Those
only
are especially common with big trucks.
Yeah, I usually only see those on like 1 tons or like 16 wheelers. Like that's not
Yeah.
something that you see on smaller cars.
Not usually, unless like someone's trying to get out of the snow or unstuck. Then sometimes they'll use tire chains to get like extra traction.
Yeah, kitty litter is
Kitty litter,
actually
we carry it in the
very
back of our
good.
car. Yeah, well, when
Yes.
it's wintertime, we put a bag of kitty litter in the back of each of our cars,
Yeah.
just in
I
case.
also
And
have-
shovels.
I have a like a booster that you just plug into your battery. Cause my car is old and terrible and like dude, I swear to God, in the wintertime, even if it's like only -3, it just will die if it's not plugged in. And it's not the battery, it's a new battery, it's just an old fucking car and it's a piece of shit. So I have that because the number of times where there's nobody around and my car is dead and I have to call my dad and he has to come from like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Also, always carry like gloves and a hat in your like glove box
Mm-hmm.
because if you break down,
I would
You
say
wanna
always
stay
make sure you
warm.
have at least a blanket in your truck or a trunk. Just
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just prep for the
Emergency.
winter, honestly. Yeah, prep for emergencies because you really never know what's gonna happen. I
Just-
almost got stuck one morning because there's a snowstorm while I was at work. So I came with my mom's car because I knew there was gonna be some snow, but my car had summer tires on, like summer, like literally track tires for like racing.
oh god.
So they're even like not even the best in the rain. So I was like, I'm not driving my car. There's gonna be some snow. It's not worth it. I'll drive my mom's car. She only had all seasons at the time because we didn't do the swap over yet. Because this was a pretty early like snow for us in Vancouver. So I drove to work and then a snowstorm hit. And I had to drive my mom's little Beetlebug with all season tires in like a massive amount of unshoveled or anything snow because it's like also like 6 to 7 a.m. because I worked graveyards. And oh, what a fucking nightmare. I thought I was going to be stranded because it was front wheel drive, all season tires, little fucking Beetlebug in like 3 feet to 4 feet of snow. Like it was a lot of snow. This is like one of the snowstorms that we got a lot of snow randomly. Thank God I know how to drive in the snow really well because there's a few times that I almost got stuck and I managed to get out, but it was because there was like red lights and I was trying to be law abiding, but it was like no one's on the road and it's like 6 a.m. So I was like, I'm just gonna run them. I'm just
That's
gonna run
fair.
these red
honestly,
lights.
if you had tried to stop, you probably would have just gone through.
Well, that's
them
why it's
anyway.
recommended. I think it's actually recommended that if you are going to get stuck, obviously if it's safe, you are allowed to just like keep going.
Yeah.
Because
there
you're
are
gonna get stuck.
definitely- Oh yeah, there's a lot of times in the wintertime where if it was the summer and it had just turned yellow, I would stop. But I see it turn yellow and I'm like, not a chance.
Yeah, I'm not stopping. We're going.
There's no way. I'm gonna slide right into the intersection, so I'm just gonna go. I'm not even gonna
Right.
try.
Yeah. So that was a nightmare. It was fine. After that few, like I got almost stuck twice and then I finally got home. But I was like the whole time I was listening to my music and I was like, please, 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 please.
You're just head bopping to the music while please.
Yeah, I was like a second away from like having a fucking panic attack, but I was like, oh, this song's really good. Oh my God. This is keeping me grounded. She changed tires very quickly after that. But then also we didn't get much snow later in that year. So we were like, okay, cool. Cool. That was
There's only
great.
been one time I've had to like actually pull over on the highway because you couldn't see. It was like a total whiteout. It was snowing so hard and I was like, no. There's absolutely I can't see in front of me. Even people who had their like their lights on, I couldn't see their back of their car until I was way too close.
Yeah,
I had to
that's
just, like,
bad.
Pull over and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna wait because it was just fucking awful. And sure enough, like the next day, driving the same road, there's so many cars in the ditch.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. People also just don't know how to drive in the snow a lot of the
Oh
time.
my god, no, they're so
No.
dumb. They drive way too fast.
Yeah. One of those nights when I was driving to work, it was like fucking 3 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m., driving like under the speed limit because it's very slippery and it's fresh. Like the roads just got cleared, but there was black ice, you could tell. So I was going nice and slow, being safe. People are like flying by me going like 40 over the speed limit. In a like piece of shit car with no lights on, and I can tell they do not have winter tires on because they're slipping and sliding a little bit. And I'm like, how are you alive, first of all? And second of all, how are you like doing this without being deathly afraid of crashing?
That's somebody who really, really has to get to their minimum wage retail job.
Yes.
Right. I'm like, I don't know what is worth this much effort and danger, but I hope it's worth it when you get there because damn bitch, it could never be me.
Whenever my dad sees one of those people, he always says, "Get nowhere fast."
Yeah, right. Like, I don't think there's anything that's worth it to speed in the snow.
God,
It's
no.
not. I definitely I speed on the highway in the summertime.
Yeah,
all the time.
everyone does.
Not a
Of
problem.
course.
In the winter, no.
No,
Not
I don't fuck with
happening.
it. I might know how to drive in the snow, but no one else does. So I'm going to be driving extra
Exactly.
cautious for
I
my
trust
safety.
myself, but I do not trust anybody else.
Yeah, and I'd rather be going too slow than too fast because then at least I have better chances of braking and not sliding into them when they crash.
I will say probably the only thing that I don't know, I love that it gets dark so early in the wintertime because I like to sleep in pitch black, and in the summertime it's like light out so late and it creeps through my window and it makes me want to kill the sun. But it
Fair.
also means that when I drive to work in the morning it's pitch black as well.
Yeah.
It's so drastic a difference where I am. I'm not even in northern Alberta, but even where I am in the winter, it's like it gets dark at like 4 p.m. By 5, it's pitch black outside.
Yeah.
And in the summer, it gets the sun sets at 11 p.m.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
about the same here.
It's such an adjustment to have to deal with that.
Right.
It happens so quickly too. I feel like it's not gradual at all. All of a sudden, one day, it's just like 5 o'clock and it's fucking so dark outside, and you're so confused because
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, it's like 8 p.m. but it's only 5, or vice versa when it's becoming summertime, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh man, it's still so early, but it's late as fuck.
While
It's
we're on the
just summer.
topic, let me say I fucking hate daylight savings so much.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
I don't know if there's a person in the world that wants daylight savings to exist.
There's like
If you do,
one
you're
dude
wrong.
really holding on to it.
You are wrong.
Right.
It is
Like,
so
it's
fucking bad.
outdated, pointless, stupid, and it hurts.
I was gonna say, back in the day, it made sense because that was like, yeah, the fucking store closes at sundown. If sundown moves, you're gonna have to like move the time around to adjust for that. But that's not how it works. We have a better grasp on things. We have a fucking like unified understanding of time now. We
Right.
don't need it.
It's so useless.
Yeah, it's
And
so stupid. I hate it.
I hate so much the one where it's just like, well, we're gonna fall back. I love the time of year, but I hate losing an hour because every single
Yes.
time I'm just like, I'm so fucking tired. I'm disoriented. Where'd the sun go? Hang on a minute.
Yeah. It
What
fucks you
happened?
up.
You
It-
wouldn't think it fucks you up so much, but it really does.
A week after daylight savings time one year, I missed a test because I thought my class was 1 hour later than what it was because of fucking daylight savings time.
Yeah. I've done that stuff before. I hate it. I hate it so much. And also because there's a lot of places that don't do daylight savings. So then
Yeah.
you're just fucking crazy and all of a sudden your time changes and everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? And you're like, I don't know. I just
Or
work
daylight
here.
savings in different parts of the world happen at different times.
That too?
So,
like what?
Whenever Lucia and I are trying to coordinate collabs and it's that time of year, his daylight savings is like a month or 2 later than mine or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so annoying. And it's so stupid that it will be like, oh yeah, this province, like I think Saskatchewan doesn't have daylight savings. Or like
I don't
some
think so, yeah.
states in the US don't have daylight. Stop. Just do the whole country. Why are
Right.
you doing this?
I was gonna say that really annoyed me because I was talking to somebody and we were in the same time zone. And we're like, all right, so yeah, so you will be here at like 9 o'clock. It's like, yeah, 9 o'clock works. They don't have daylight savings, and so I show up at 9. It's like, well, I'm an hour late now. Fuck. Because their
Yeah.
state didn't recognize daylight saving.
Yeah,
And I was just
remember
like,
that.
fuck.
I
I
had
know
someone
Alberta
who
is
shared a
con-
time zone with me, and then they were an hour behind or an hour ahead after daylight savings. I'm like, this fucks me up so bad. I don't know
I
what time it
know.
is for you.
It's so annoying.
That's why I like hammer time, so I could be like, this time it auto converts.
Right.
This time.
Auto converts even with fucking daylight savings.
Yeah, I know Alberta is thinking about getting rid of it, and I'm like, why can't this just be like a federal thing? Like, why are we doing it provincially?
Right. Like, why are we making this more confusing than it needs to be?
It's
Why don't we
just-
just eradicate it?
And then it's just like, I feel like it's worse for us people who are chronically online, friends in different time zones.
Yeah.
It's just like a huge pain in the ass.
It fucks with shit. Same with streams. You go live, and they're people in Europe are like, "Why are you going live like
Yes,
an hour early?"
I
And I'm
make an
like,
announcement in my Discord every time daylight savings happens to like say,
Yeah.
daylight savings has happened for me. Time changes this. Keep this in mind for future streams. And even on my schedules, I have MDT when it's daylight time and MST when it's standard time.
Right.
Because I'm like, I feel like people are gonna get and they still do. They still get
They still do.
because it's
yeah.
still confusing. I get confused whenever me and Lucia and it's daylight savings time and it's like, oh, we're 1 hour difference now because I did my daylight savings, but then you did it, so now we're 2 hours difference than what we were. And it's like, oh my god. And he has a half an hour time zone, so that doesn't help. And I'm like,
Oh, God.
Fuck those ones, man. Those are so stupid. You feel special now with your 30 minutes, huh? You feel so special.
The half-hour bullshit
so
makes
stupid.
no sense.
It's so dumb. Like, how? How'd you get there? How did we decide, like, all
just
these, like,
no
strictly
time.
hourly different time zones, and then all of a sudden there's, like, 2 or 3, I don't know how many
An
spots,
hour
I don't
just
care,
doesn't
but there's...
make a difference.
Yeah, like, why?
No.
Why is this a thing? This doesn't need to be a thing, especially because I know it's a thing in Newfoundland where there's the
Yes.
half an hour ahead time
The
zone,
half
but
an
also,
hour,
like,
yeah.
some of Newfoundland has just an EST time zone. And it's like, why don't you all just share
Labrador,
that?
yeah.
We just
Labrador
what?
has the E EST.
need to like
Mhm.
let everyone kind of set their time zone and keep it like that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what the fuck? Just constantly trying to deal with not only your time zone changing, now your friends are in a different time zone, but now some of your friends are not in a different time zone, but they're in your old time zone.
Yeah.
That's the shitty part of autumn, in my opinion, is whenever the time changes, it's like, well, I suddenly can't talk to this group of friends anymore because they're lost in time now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've gone into
That's
the
true.
abyss.
I'll hear from
I
them when
love you,
they've
but-
like figured it out, but goddamn,
Until then, see you on the other side.
every year.
Were we all in agreement? Was autumn all of our favorite
We were.
Yeah.
season?
Autumn's all of our favorites, I
Summer
think,
was
and
all
then
of our
summer's our least favorite.
Wow.
Wow. Good taste.
Look at that.
Good taste.
Hell
yeah.
No bias,
Anybody
but good
who
taste.
says that they have a different opinion than us is wrong.
No, anyone
Right.
who says summer is your favorite, you are the most wrong.
Yeah,
You're
true. Any
extra
other one's
wrong.
valid, but summer, I don't know, man. You
don't-
kind of scare me.
Yeah, like, what do you like about summer? The fact that it's too hot to actually go do anything? The fact that people are miserable and they're going to take it out on you? The fact
It's
that
super busy.
everything is fucking overcrowded?
The
Yeah.
fact that I'm constantly on fire.
Yeah. The fact that like half of like forests, especially in North America, catch on fire during the summer.
Yeah, like, there's not really a lot of good benefits to summer anymore. Like, after you hit past a certain age, nah, summer sucks ass.
Yeah.
I do like water sports. Like I like canoeing and kayaking, but not that much.
True,
not
but
enough
not
for it
that
to
mu-
like
right.
make me like summer.
Right. And you could always technically do those in other seasons. They won't be as like nice because you won't be cooling down in the water. You'll be freezing in the water, but
Me trying
can
to
still do it.
kayak in February.
oh my god.
Frozen lake. Why wouldn't it
think
move?
I paddleboarded once.
Yeah, the
And, like-
buffest arms.
You just break the ice while going
You have
through
an
it.
icebreaker on the front of your kayak.
It just chips away. I paddleboarded once during late winter, early spring, and I fell in.
Oh no.
That was
Oh,
the worst mistake I've ever made
no.
in my entire life. It was so nice
Impromptu
before, though. I was like, oh,
dip.
it's so peaceful. And then I went and I was like, oh.
It's so peaceful. Touch the water, turn into a fucking raise, and just shriveling up like hell.
Yeah.
Get the heat
We're not
light.
doing this ever again. Help, I'm drowning. I'm too cold. Help.
Oh,
Well, with that being said, I think that's a good time to call it. We've established our favorite and least favorite seasons and even talked about a little bit about video games.
we always loop back to video
Yeah.
games.
We
I
always
forgot
look
that
back.
happened. That was like a fever dream.
I cannot wait to
Whoops.
see how it's decided who won, since we were all in like perfect agreement the entire episode.
I was gonna say a good way to have done it would have been whoever agreed with Arva the most, but we all agreed. So
I was going to do it that way, and then everyone said their seasons were the
Just
same as mine. And I was like,
kidding.
okay, so we're gonna do just the coin flip.
Bring out.
I was
the-
going to. I was like, okay, if I do seasons, then I could be like, okay, depending on like who agrees or like who has the best points for their seasons, who can like drive it home the hardest, who likes it and doesn't like it the most. But everyone was like, oh, we like autumn, we hate summer. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
I need to like commission somebody to get like 3 images here. One is like the front of a coin, one is the back of a coin, and then just like a little gif of the coin spinning on its side. Just so when a coin flip happens, we can just throw that up on screen to be like, let's go.
Right.
I don't think you need commission, and I feel like that's probably readily available online.
No, but it has to have
be.
our faces on it.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
right.
It's got to be like a. It's got to
A
be like
custom
a
asset.
gold coin, but where silver faces are in there, like Mount Rushmore.
Wait, that'd actually be really cute. I'm sure there's someone that does that. That'd be like a cute little idea because we do coin flips a lot. I mean, it's just the easy way to decide.
For these kind of like discussion-based topics, it's like I tried to do like the secret word thing, and nobody said my words.
That one's really hit or miss. It's really. I try to do that one because I want to spice it up over like coin flips and stuff, but it's really hard because one, you have to be engaged in the conversation, and you also have to pay
But
attention
yeah,
to the
I
words
was
people are
not
saying.
paying attention either.
No,
You got to pick
And
like
then
2 super common ones, and then like 3
one rare word.
kind of
3,
rare.
yeah.
But then
That's too
one
many
like,
words.
but then one that's just like a you get this, you're probably gonna win.
Yeah, like if you say this, wow, your vocabulary's up there, and you won.
Exactly. Like we're probably gonna talk about video games. That might be a 1-pointer right there.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you
like
bring up the
something niche,
PSP,
like-
you get 5.
right. Oh, I've been wanting to get a modded PSP recently. I might do it. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like $100 to get a used PSP.
Yeah, PSPs
That's
aren't
pretty
bad.
good.
PS Vitas are more though. I want a PS Vita because you can do more with them, but they're like 200, sometimes 300.
I
Sad.
think we have pretty cold takes. Like, not hot take, but cold take, because I feel like I most commonly, when I ask people favorite and on, like, least favorite seasons, it's usually favorites autumn and least favorite is summer.
Yeah,
Not for everybody, but I do think that's, like,
it's pretty common.
pretty common.
Just because autumn's a really good season.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Such a good season.
it feels like it's still tied with closer to age, because if you're on the younger side, you're still gonna think, winter or summer is where it's at. But then
yeah, you probably hate fall.
Yeah.
and it also depends on how often you go out, because there's some people who like they don't go out, they don't mind summer because they're inside, they work inside.
Right.
That's fair.
But if you like go outside or you go on walks or you actually like do work outside, nah, autumn is like the fucking season.
hmm
I like getting to put on my sweater again.
I love the layers. You can layer. You can wear sweaters. Yeah, the whole clothing situation is really nice in autumn too.
Yeah.
Alright, pick
And
heads.
okay, heads. I was gonna say Westy would be tails because he has a tail. Oh,
I have a tail too.
So
bitch.
Farrah
say that doesn't work.
Silvertail, hold up.
it's in the name. Actually, that works better. Well, she took head, so
Too late.
that's how that's gonna work.
All right.
Let's see. Who is it? Tails.
Yeah.
Epic. No work for
Let's
me.
go. Oh,
And Doom for all of you.
oh god, I'm excited. I love when Westy comes up with ideas, honestly.
Jesse puts the most effort, I think, out of all of us.
It's true. I'll put effort in next time I win, I promise. This time I just
I will too. I
been
have
tired.
ideas. I'm just like, I usually forget that I won, and then it's the day of.
And then it's last second, you're like, oh shit, I don't have
Oh,
enough time to like
shit,
scrounge
yeah.
up a game concept. Yeah.
You want to know the really funny thing?
hmm
A lot of the game show I have is like, I come up with just a base idea after I hear I win, forget about it, and then day of when I hit record, I flesh it out really quick in my head.
Damn, I wish I was better at doing that.
See, for mine, I'm like, I usually do like the kind of like guessing type games where you have to try to guess a word or what this thing is for or what this game is. So you have to have like a pre-made list.
I just make up my
Yeah.
list on the fly. However, I do have an idea for next week, and I gotta see if it'll work.
Ooh.
Because I think
Good
this will
luck.
be really fucking funny.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for whenever Westy hosts.
Good,
And a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit of nervousness.
good.
Any winning speech for agreeing with me with your seasons?
Summer is the worst season. Autumn is the best. Winter is not bad, depending on where you live or how hard you get hit. Spring, kind of a wild card, honestly. It could be good or
Yeah.
bad. It could be extremes in both directions. Other than that, fear me and my machinations for next week's episode.
Farah.
I'm not a huge fan of spring because I clean buildings, and it's ugly.
Oh,
It's slushy.
yeah,
That's fair.
Not my
that's
favorite.
fair.
That's Farah.
Oh, okay.
Boo.
Someone get her off. Someone
Get
get her
the
off.
stage
Banner.
hook.
Tomato. But with that, thank you again for listening to this episode. You can find us all on our respective platforms. Westy is Westy HCC on every platform because he's got it. He managed to get it. So I admire that so much. I need to get that bitch's username. I say this every
Just start
time.
I think we're
Messaging
gonna
him.
say this every episode.
Every
You just gotta
episode,
send him
I'll
a
say it
message and just be like,
until
hey,
the one episode I get it.
be like, hey, bud, I would really like this. Do you
How
mind?
much?
And just see if. Oh yeah, you can be like, hey, and just how much for your username, and then just like have it as a fucking stretch goal during a
Right.
donathon or something.
I'll be like, I have 69 in my username. It's your username, but funnier. Come on, can you not see the appeal here? He'll be like, why don't you keep it then? I'll be like, don't ask that question. Come on, you don't ask questions. I ask the questions here.
It's like, come on, I'll give you
Um,
one shout out on my critically acclaimed Twitch stream.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm like
I'm
an
a Twitch
influencer or
partner.
something. I'll influence people to follow you if you want.
There you go.
Farah is Farah the Bat. Farah Silvertail. Farah the Bat.
Farah the bat, yeah.
Farah the Bat. Okay, I'm getting confused with the old one. She used to have Farah Silvertail on some platforms, but now she is also Farah the Bat on every platform. I'm the odd one out.
I got my
I'm
shit
Arva on
together.
Twitch and Arva69 everywhere else because haha hee hee funny. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next week with Westy's concoction, which I'm nervous for but excited. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys later. I don't know why I said It's because I'm the host. I think I got a big ego now.
He's hosted
We'll see
one
you guys
episode
later.
after a month and he's already out of control.
Right.
He's
Too
gonna
much of me. This is
declare
why I
himself
lose.
the winner.
This is why I lose so much. It's the humbling.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.